Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today I have with me DeeDee Edmondson. DeeDee, thank you so much. Shake my hand.
Absolutely.
There we go. All right, we are in downtown Boston, and it's ironic that we have DeeDee, but we're not stopping at Dunkin' Donuts. We stopped at another little cool, trendy cafe to get some coffee, and we're driving around downtown Boston to talk gun stuff and to talk what DeeDee does and how she got into this and the cool things that she does. And if we're not careful, what if we pack that car and have it?
Yeah, we can do it.
All right, let's go. Let's rock and roll, baby. All right, so DeeDee, tell us something about yourself, because there's a lot to tell.
So I came here in 2001 to Boston. I'm originally from Kentucky, 2,500 person town with one stoplight that they just removed. So now I'm from a no stoplight town.
No stoplights.
And I came up here after college to go to grad school.
Cool. Where'd you go to school?
I went to BU School of Theology.
Really?
I did. Yep.
How's that working out for you, girl?
I'm an ordained minister as well.
Awesome.
I went there. I got my master's in theological studies. Did 1 year PhD work in theological ethics. It's the same program as Dr. King was in.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Little fact, since it's the 50th anniversary.
There we go.
So after that, I got in 2003 a Supreme Court case in the Massachusetts Supreme Court came down in favor of gay marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very large outpouring of advocacy going on around keeping marriage legal versus not legal.
Right.
It was one of the first cases in America,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of got politicized around that issue because I am gay, and I came out in 1996.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there is anything wrong with it. In fact, if you're single, I'm just kidding.
Oh my!
Really.
I am single, but
That's cool. I'm engaged. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I just got engaged last weekend. So
good for you!
Yeah,
Congratulations!
thank you.
That's awesome.
So with that, I got I dropped out of my PhD because it was way too much fun doing advocacy work, and
Cool.
went to work at the State House
Yeah.
in Massachusetts, and was became the general counsel for the guy who was head of the Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee.
Wow.
And became the general counsel of the Homeland Security Committee, which dealt with all the gun laws. And me being a good old girl from Kentucky, and that's what I learned to shoot and hunt and fish and trap and all that good stuff.
That's
and I
totally cool.
still love all of it, and still love to go home. Seek out my cousins and be like, please, let's just go shooting. And so I got to know Jim Wallace.
Yes.
He is the executive director of the Gun Owners
Actually, which is the state's pro
Now, I
gun
work for like the
organization.
top, progressive liberal person that did not like guns. So
Can you mention his name?
his name is Senator Jared Barrios, who I still love very much.
Okay. I thought it was.
We don't see eye to eye on the gun stuff, but
Sure.
but it was an amazing time to work for Jared. He was the lead in the legislature for keeping gay marriage legal. He himself is a gay man,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just an amazing moment in history to work for him and be there. We got death
That's
threats,
cool.
we saw people marching, and
Wow.
it was just a really amazing moment. But we differed over the gun laws, and
Mm-hmm.
Jim would come in and sit down and start talking to me, and I'm Southern and I like to talk, and people in Boston don't talk to each other.
Yeah. they
And
kinda don't.
so just got to know Jim, and after many different iterations, I went to a lobbying firm. I was a lobbyist at one of those big
Wow.
Rasky Bearline Strategic Communications. Now it's just Rasky. I love those people. Was a lobbyist and did stuff like pharma and
Wow.
stuff like that. And then I had a few other jobs and ended up on my own with some time to kill. I'll put it that way. And you know, I kind of pitched Jim and his board on bringing me on because I love
like
guns,
said,
and I think I think we should. It's a hard fought battle in Massachusetts.
Oh my God.
For people to talk about guns, and I'm trying to help go tell their story in an effective way that for both the legislative audience and a general public audience and stuff like that, because
right.
I think you need to put a human face on gun owners in order to be effective in Massachusetts. Now, this strategy doesn't work in many states.
Right.
Like, many states don't even need it. Like Kentucky, they're like, guns, of course, you know.
Right, it's not even an issue. In Massachusetts, it's a way big issue.
It's a huge issue.
Way big issue. I really think we have a lot of closet gun owners in Massachusetts.
And that's exactly it. And so I recently did a seminar at the Women's Firearms Summit.
Right, which was where we met.
Which you took. My only guy. That's right.
What did they call me? The token male? The token male? That was me. I was in my element.
Check that out, though. I just got to point out that beautiful Chevelle that just went by.
All right. Well, we're going to get some video of that because I got a video on the camera.
Oh, cool.
I know, right?
I love classic cars. Again, I'm a unicorn. So, I did a seminar, and it is on coming out as a gun owner, because I really think that we did a lot of amazing advocacy in the gay marriage. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, one iteration of jobs that I had in my life.
I know, you've had like a million jobs in a million different areas. I'm like, how does she get all these jobs?
Political director at Mass Equality. When Mass Equality is the Massachusetts State LGBTQ political organization.
Okay.
It's still around. It's fighting against a transgender ban that they're trying to put on the ballot in October. Please vote against it, but that's just me. What I'm saying is that I think you can apply like that same advocacy philosophy of storytelling that we use in gay marriage for the gun owner, because people are literally in the closet on owning guns.
They are. They don't put stickers out. A lot of people don't wear paraphernalia.
No.
But when I find out that somebody in Massachusetts is a gun owner, it feels like we have a secret handshake. Or
absolutely,
something,
absolutely.
Because there's not a lot of us, and we don't necessarily talk about it openly.
And when I don't know if your mama does this, but my mama does it. Like when something is a little controversial, she'll whisper it.
Oh.
So be like,
a Southern thing.
Guess what? Hey, guess what? I have a, my mom still goes, my daughter, she's so it's
she enjoys the company of women.
Exactly.
Who don't?
Exactly. So I'm trying to help people develop their stories and how to be effective 2A advocates in a blue state. So doing that, coming out of the closet, out of the gun safe.
Yeah.
Coming out of the gun safe.
I thought that was great when taking the seminar that you did. You went around to everybody. What's your story? What's your story? How did you get into this? And there was no one had the same story. No one had the same story at all. And
there were the person that I thought might have been a plant from the left turned out to be the woman who sued the city of Springfield for her gun license. I was like, I love you. I was cool. There is always a fear, and this is also from politics, from being in politics, that campaigns send people, plant people to disrupt something or do something.
Yes, they do.
And so I was thinking maybe we get a disruption, but this woman had a scarf on and everything, very nice and fancy looking, and she was like, I sued the city, and I was like, I love you.
Wow.
I love you. Everybody had, and you had a great story as well.
Mine's not too bad,
Yeah.
I got into it to protect me and my kids and being a teacher and all that stuff.
And the same thing, I just kind of, what people always are like, why are you doing this? Why don't, because in one way, in many, it kept me from getting jobs in Massachusetts.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Nobody wanted to be associated with the gun girl.
Right.
They're like, oh, can you just advise us like on the sly, but not put your name on anything?
Right. Don't tell anyone.
We can't hire you. It's the gun thing. I've heard that 1,000 times. Oh, it's the gun thing. I can't.
Right. You can't get on board with that.
If you don't want to hire me because of the guns, then. But anyway.
So now I have to edit that out.
So I just embraced it. Like I was a 19 years old in the South in 1996, and I came out. So I'm just gonna come out as a gun owner,
right?
And I'm gonna work and try to get, because I'm sick of the hypocrisy of the left. Like I see it and I hear it and I worked in it and I created it myself. That's why I know it's hypocrisy. So I've written the talking points. Trust me. And it's just here's an example. Like with this ERPO legislation that's going on. State level. Okay. Here, this red flag.
Yes, the red. I'm concerned about the red flag stuff too.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Well, so goal being Jim Wallace and myself put together legislation as an alternative, a reasonable, compassionate alternative to what Rep. Linsky and Representative out of Cambridge, a woman legislator, they both offered differing but very similar legislations, and that's what's in House Ways and Means right now in Massachusetts. It's been reported out like 3613, some strange number, but finally we put something together. We ran it by people.
Am I gonna get in front of this truck?
Oh yeah, you can do it.
I am.
Whoa, woo! God bless. God bless Boston traffic.
So this is going to be the longest episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie with the least amount of miles.
We've gone a block, people. We've literally gone a block and a half.
I know. It's 10 minutes. We went a block. All right. Hopefully it'll pick up more.
Excellent. We'll go into the old combat zone.
Yes.
Did you ever come to the combat zone when you were a kid?
I can neither. Well, I didn't move here till I was 18, but I can neither confirm nor deny.
Excellent. So we're going through Chinatown right now, right near what used to be called the combat zone.
Yes, the combat zone is where there were a lot of gentlemen's clubs before they were called gentlemen's clubs.
Yes.
Yes.
There are only 2 left now. They're right down over there behind this street. Not that I know.
One of them's not the Naked Eye, is it?
No, that one's gone. Now it's Centerfolds and the Glass Slipper.
Oh my gosh.
So
we totally unrelated. Back in my previous life, I used to play in a band.
Oh, cool! What kind of band?
A Motown disco funk band.
That's a lot. That's a lot in one. Okay.
And we played 4 nights a week at Dick's Last Resort when it was in the Prudential Center.
Oh yeah. I applied for a job there once.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. When?
Oh, when I first moved here, 2001.
2001. I was still playing there at that
wow.
time. Yeah,
we almost met.
How bizarre would that have been? Anyway, we used to have what we called band meetings. And band meetings was Wednesday nights, because we played from 7 to 12 on Wednesday and Thursday. We played from 10 to 2 on Friday and Saturday. And band meetings were at 12:30. We would finish playing, and then we would go to the Naked Eye and have a couple of beers.
Ah, nice.
And all the drinks were $7. So we had one guy in the band that didn't drink. He would order a Coke, $7.
$7.
Like, dude, that's ridiculous.
Now it's 15 for a beer.
Right. Anyway, that's totally unrelated.
So, back to the ERPO legislation.
Yes.
So, Jim Wallace crafted some stuff. I added some stuff in. He ran it by people, and we've given it to House Ways and Means. You might have read it in the paper. The Worcester Telegram just did an editorial on it this morning.
Oh, cool.
Just in case. This, and yeah. That's nice of you. Man, you don't live in Boston. You let somebody out in traffic.
Well, you know
That's
what?
So nice of you.
I'm one of these people. I hate Boston traffic, and I hate the way people drive here. And I really think that their driving style is their politics.
No, it's true. I'm such a masshole driver.
Anyway,
Such a masshole driver. Ooh.
So Worcester TNG did a story.
TNG. So this is the hypocrisy I'm talking about. So the bill that these 2 Democratic legislators, bless their hearts, filed is a bill that was created at a think tank in either New York, D.C., something like that. Like, this comes from language that has been filed in other states. It's a cookie cutter bill. It's not it's not crafted for Massachusetts and the Massachusetts laws.
Gotcha.
Okay? Because we already have many ways law enforcement can take away gun licenses in Massachusetts, which a lot of states don't have. We have a lot of ways. Chief's discretion is one. The chief can pull your stuff for any reason.
For anything.
And you have to go to court and go through a court process to get it back. If you get a restraining order, you got to turn your guns in. And your ammunition. Don't forget about that.
Oh, man.
Even starter pistols, people. I will put you in jail. I'm also a lawyer. So I have many clients.
You have so many hats.
It all kind of fits together. I'm just kind of like, I've just fixed things. That's what I like to say. I'm a
fixer.
I am a fixer. I'm a lesbian Olivia Pope. That's what I'd like to say. You know, except I don't have the outfits that she does, but I love red wine. But other than that,
all right.
So the ERPO legislation that Jim and I crafted, or mostly Jim, I did throw in a little bit, but you know, it's crafted for Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Like and also Section 12 process is civil commitment when somebody goes crazy and you take mama down and like commit her for 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
Or if somebody's like strung out on heroin, you can Section 35 them and put them in civil commit detox. Both times, guns are gone. Wow. Okay, if you go through those processes. Mm-hmm. So again, chief's discretion. You know,
see, that's the one that kind of shakes me up. Because all of this is coming about because of the Parkland murderer. Mm-hmm. I refuse to call him a shooter. I call him, you and I are shooters. He's a murderer.
We're not murderers.
So all of this is coming about because he had all of these red flags that were going off, and nobody did anything about it. So now we need to red flag everybody, and what I'm concerned is somebody who's a non-gun folk is going to say, hey, Charlie threatened me. Charlie, I think Charlie's crazy. I saw Charlie whatever out drinking and he can't control himself. And then I get red flagged with no substance.
Right.
To the whole rigmarole.
And that's why we wanted to craft something that provided more protections, a higher standard, you know, and we wanted something that had more due process in it.
Shit.
Oh yeah, by the way, forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot it was going that way. That's all right.
You can go down to the seaport. Have you been to the seaport lately?
Not lately, but there's a lot of stuff going on down there.
It's amazing. It's amazing what's going down on the seaport. It's like Vancouver. Have you ever been to Vancouver? Or like Seattle? It has this like West Coast feel to it. It's really strange. In Boston, you know.
Go figure.
There's pilgrims and then West Coast. What's going on? It's so nice down here.
we don't have pilgrims anymore.
You know, like all this architecture over here is like hard, and over here is like, oh my god, it's so. It's nice though. It's nice.
Oh my god.
So the ERPO legislation that Jim crafted and Gold crafted and headed is about kind of coming into that Section 12 process where you want to civilly commit somebody because they're under the other bill. You bring these people into court, you take their guns, and then you just let them go walk back on the street.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Okay, so if you want to, so there's 1,000 other ways to kill people too. So, but you know what I mean? So we need to have some mental health. We need to have, for those people's sake, for the law enforcement's sake, because again, I think a lot of this has to do with. Go ahead, take a right.
This is Massachusetts driving. We're going to take a right turn from the center lane. That'll be fine.
There you go.
Welcome to the Commonwealth. Look at all this, man. This is cool.
So, but you know, like what we really need to prevent is suicide by cop, right? We need to make sure that our first responders are safe. I mean, just last week, a guy was killed at law enforcement. Leo and his dog were shot. The sergeant he's a sergeant. He was killed by a felon with a gun. Okay.
Felon with a gun. 111.
100
previous. It's not even.
I don't even know what
not
do you
even
do 111 times that you're not in like.
Well,
fucking,
he's very.
Sorry, I guess
that's all right. He's very prolific. 111 times. He's only like what, 29 years old.
Yes, he's been busy, very busy.
He's got an active career.
Exactly. And look, why is he not in DOC custody?
Right.
Why does he have been out impregnating women and getting illegal guns and neck tattoos too? And you know, so these are the things like, let's enforce the laws that we already have.
Right. See, yeah.
Let's have more police training, especially around mental health issues. And I'm not talking about that guy in Falmouth. He's just an asshole that shot a cop. Like, we're talking about dealing with mental health, because that's what it really comes down to. Like, what if you're going to go under this bill? You're worried about your brother, your cousin, or whatever, your best friend.
Right.
You go to Leo's. What are they going to do? They need more training to understand how the mental health on a scale. If you're going to do an ERPO process, like, does it require you to go to, does it require a wellness check? We need to have some sort of way to monitor the situation.
Right.
If it requires it.
Right.
Or civil commit this person. Because you don't want to release a crazy person back on the streets.
Of course.
That's just another problem for police and
later down the road.
And dangerous for society. So.
All right. We're going to turn around and head back the other way. Because there's nothing down here anymore, right?
Yeah.
This is such a nice
Harper
area.
Brewery's over there, though. That is
I do love Harpo. Or 12.
Yes. So, goals legislation sets up a suicide hotline. Massachusetts is like one of the only states that doesn't have one.
You would think, with all the people that want to help other people, you
Absolutely.
would think that Massachusetts would have one.
Yeah, there's a lot of private agencies that do really good work in that area, Samaritans and things like that.
Yeah.
But there is no catch-all, not even in the Department of Mental Health. So,
Wow.
creating something that, whether it's an online resource, there's telephone, there's text, whatever it takes, because believe it or not, I think 74% of men and 93% of women in Massachusetts who do commit suicide don't do it with a handgun or a rifle or a shotgun. Doesn't do it with a firearm in general.
Right.
They do it by other means. So obviously there's a problem there that ERPO legislation, as is not going to solve. So our legislation creates that kind of suicide prevention committee awareness to escalate, public awareness of everything. So the other thing it does is kind of enhance the Section 12 process for civil commitment to bring that kind of ERPO into that kind of due process. So you go in, like either law enforcement can go in or a family member to civilly commit somebody. Handgun can be taken away. They, committed for 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, to a facility for either substance or mental health problems that they are experiencing. Because obviously this person is in crisis.
Right.
Right? Whether it's the death of his wife or her husband, and they're sad, or you got Victor Cruz, who is just mentally unstable because his girlfriend broke up with him, and he's going to go shoot up high school. Obviously, you need to create a situation where it can be all that can be handled. That scale, that wide array, right? And the other thing is, like, what if this person, if my PCP is suddenly pulled in and him or her are civilly committed, my PCP being my doctor, shouldn't the medical board know that, right? If my husband is suicidal and I bring him in and he's a CDL truck driver for a gas company, do you want him to be on the road after we take his gun?
Probably not.
So there is a mechanism within goals legislation to suspend, revoke, or just inform the board, the professional licensure board, of what's happening with this person. We think that is a very, do you want a heart surgeon who's just been dragged through a court process to then be able to go in to do heart surgery while under distress? Obviously not. So it's a mechanism to ensure safety at all levels. So you got a mental health evaluation, crisis, commitment, whatever. Plus also okay, you're going to take a firearms license, but let's look at all the other professional licenses the people that person has.
It seems to me like the people on the left, the anti-gun folks, don't realize that there's other ways you can kill people.
It's sad but true.
Right,
Sad but true.
I always tell people, I say, okay, so I want to end gun violence just like you do. Are you okay with knife violence? Are you you want to end gun violence, but you don't want to end violence? Right.
And yes, let's go to the core issue. It's it's a hot talking point right now to take guns away.
Right.
But you also have to know that beside taking guns away, you have to find a way to deal with the underlying issues.
Absolutely.
And Victor Cruz, all these same laws, by the way, are on the books in Florida, right?
And Nicholas Cruz, right?
I'm sorry, Nicholas Cruz. Victor Cruz. Who's Victor Cruz? I think he's a football player or a baseball player. Is he on the Red Sox? I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm not a sports guy.
Well, as you might know, with a stereotype, I'm quite the sports girl. Oh. So I should know who Victor Cruz is. Okay. But I just...
All these things were on the books in Florida already.
Yes, they were. And, obviously, it's been reported the cops knew about this kid, and
Right.
FBI knew about this kid, and somehow this kid got an AR-15. The other thing is, how did this kid afford an AR-15?
Yeah, he doesn't have a job.
I can't afford an AR-15.
Well, I will tell you this. I saw an ad yesterday on Gunbroker from the email I get from Gunbroker, and it had an AR, a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 for $529.99.
That's not a bad price.
That's not a bad price, but that's only in free America, not here in occupied territory.
Right, of course. Of course.
You know, and it's interesting. I don't know if you know, I shop online. I don't want to say I shop online. It's you're looking at Gunbroker or Northeast Shooters and the classifieds and stuff.
Right.
To me, going to a gun store to me is like going to a strip joint.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going home with anything. It's all nice to look at. I'm not going home with anything, really. So, I saw Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2, and think of it what you will. It's an AR platform, and if you don't have a lot of money and you're new and you want to get into it, dude, $530.
That's not bad.
It's not. That same rifle here in Massachusetts would be $1,200.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like the same price is. I mean, like where's a kid get $500 too? You know what I mean?
Right. I know. At $10 an hour, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, he worked at the dollar store, didn't he? I don't know. But
I don't
you know,
think they pay
it's
$1.
Just, but we just need to really look at, and not that I don't think law enforcement is not doing their job. I think they're overwhelmed. I think.
Oh sure.
Just like the Yarmouth, the Falmouth, Yarmouth.
Girl, how long you been here, girl? Come on.
I know. No, I was like, where?
No, it's Yarmouth. It was the
Yarmouth.
Sergeant Gannon was from Yarmouth.
Yarmouth.
Oh, sorry.
The Yarmouth. So the police chief in Yarmouth made an impassioned plea for more money for training, which is not an I was at the State House for over 4 years, did budget stuff.
Yeah.
There's been a shortage in police training monies since I was there. That was in 2005. So, nobody, cops is also a dirty word these days, and not to me, but to so many people. And so, it's, I think there's a lot of bias that goes on against law enforcement, even at the state level, that they, especially, of course, the state police scandals that are going on in Massachusetts at the moment doesn't help with that, where they're getting paid $300,000 a year.
I know. Sign me up for that gig, man.
I know.
Right.
I went into the wrong profession.
We all did.
But mostly they'll put their life on the line for a lot less. And I just think it's time for, especially around mental health issues and visually disturbed people, because there's a lot working around and they cause a lot of problems. Some do, some don't, of course.
Right.
Not everybody with a mental health problem is violent.
Yeah.
But I think our police deserve to be trained to know how to handle people and to handle situations effectively.
All right, we're pulling up.
And they deserve $10 million in training funds.
That would be good, right?
Oh my God, the sun is out in Boston.
I know. It's
just a beautiful
what's
thing.
This yellow thing in the sky? All right, this is unfortunate. We only have a few minutes left here.
Oh,
I know, right?
Time flies.
I know.
That was fun. This is fun.
We'll have to do this again.
I would like to.
So I thought this was interesting. Staying with the Boston cops. I do listen to the local NPR station, and I probably listen to them for about 20 minutes a day, and they piss me off every day. But I still listen to them. They don't listen to my show. They don't listen to my show, right? But they have the Boston Police Commissioner on one time, and there was a couple years ago, the Boston Police, dude. I know. Welcome to Boston. Stop and go traffic right here in a block. The chief of police the police were asking for long guns, which I thought was kind of interesting, because we all know a long gun that the police would be looking for is an AR-15.
Right.
And I did the who cares? I did the Citizens Police Academy a couple years ago, and they had a patrol rifle, and the patrol rifle was an AR-15 with 4 of the 5 evil features. But the chief of police in Boston, the Boston police asked for more long rifles.
Yes.
And the chief denied them. He's like, we don't need any more long guns. We don't need any more, we don't need more guns on the street, which I thought was really interesting. And I if you're a non-gun person and you stick to your guns about being a non-gun person, dude, I'll hand it to you. The chief of police doesn't think anyone should have a gun, and he's not letting the Boston cops have more AR-15s. Okay, rock on. That is totally where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Sorry.
This is why I have the camera on the hood.
For insurance purposes, that's good.
Yeah, right.
And people were up in arms, pun intended, about it as well. Like the general public was like, absolutely not. They should not have automatic rifles.
Oh, for God's sakes.
They shouldn't. I was like, so it kind of just floored me. We have a lot of shootings in Boston.
It's like the safest gun laws. What are you talking about?
Of course. You're right. We do have a low death rate across Massachusetts.
It's because the hospitals are good.
That's one. And then also, but if you looked at the statistics in minority neighborhoods, the statistic goes up.
Sure.
If you're, and that's the dirty little secret that nobody wants to talk about in Massachusetts and Boston and the Boston Globe. The Boston Globe has done 2 editorials on needing gun violence. One Parkland, and I think the other was Newtown. Have they ever done anything? Is there an editorial about? No, absolutely not. So, they.
Dude, I have about 3/4. I have about 3/4 of a car length, and some Massachusetts driver just pulled right in.
Oh my God, I love Boston.
Dude, this is the best.
Welcome to Boston. Fuck you.
Welcome to Commonwealth. Oh, look at this. Somebody's going to come from the right also, and I got the bus right next to me. Oh, for Christ's sakes.
And don't forget the tourists just walking amok as well. There's traffic lights.
Oh,
we're on Causeway Street. Right. It's like the busiest intersection.
We're going to meet at the corner of Walk and Don't Walk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. No.
So I think, the inner cities, as they say, and the other part, but the other side of that coin is there's a lot of gun violence in minority neighborhoods that across the state, of course, when you get to places like Groveland and, Mount Sterling and Barrington, yes, that kind of evens out the gun death rate.
Right.
Because in Beverly Farms as well, there's not a big high gun death rate in Beverly Farms. Hello, Carrie Healy. But, look at the gun death rate per capita in Roxbury, Mattapan.
Right.
Dorchester. It's the dirty little secret of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other flip side of that is try to be a person of color and try to get a gun license in the state. It's kind of hard. I've had so many anecdotes I can just throw out from friends of mine, people coming up to me telling me, I want my gun license, but I'm just not even going to try.
Yeah.
Because I won't get it in Massachusetts. Or I won't get it in Boston. Well,
right.
I was talking to a woman at that clinic. The seminar that I ran.
Yeah.
She lives in Roxbury. Somebody was literally shot at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday afternoon.
1 o'clock, dude.
On a Wednesday, down the block from her house.
Wow.
And she's like, and I went to go get a guns license, and she has a restricted LTC. They will not give you.
Unbelievable.
They will not give you an
unrestricted.
Unrestricted, unless you are in some way tied to law enforcement or security.
It's completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. I'm going to say this, and then we're going to wrap things up. I have. I am the only guy in Massachusetts that's a gun instructor that will say it's easy to get a gun license. I know, and here's why. I teach, the majority of what I teach is the NRA's home firearm safety course. 4 hours, rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Oh my, no live firing.
Oh.
What I tell people is I tell you stupid jokes and dumb stories that are all gun related. I tell you that for 4 hours. I give you a permit. You go down and apply. If the chief gives you no restrictions, you can carry a concealed firearm without ever having fired a gun before. And I've got gun instructor buddies that are like, dude, that's crazy. Why do you teach this? I want to know whether or not these people can handle a gun. And this is where I like to turn around and say, I'm not the chief of police. I'm not going to put restrictions on somebody. I'm not going to determine whether or not they shoot proficient enough for me to say that they can have a gun license. Like, for me, literally, I'm all about being free. Like, literally, be free, man. Be free.
Right
One of the things, and I know this is not of your ilk, but I read the Conscience of a Conservative by Barry Goldwater. And the phrase that I loved in there that he said was, he wants maximum individual freedom. And I'm like, dude, that's what I want, some maximum individual freedom. So, amen. All right, we are almost where we need to be, and I'm not sure where we need to be. But we're going to wrap things up here with DeeDee Edmondson. DeeDee, how do people find you? Where can they find you? One of the zillion hats that you have.
My main gig is I am a lawyer at Levine Pirro Law, and you can find us at levinepirolaw.com. Mm-hmm. You can contact me through there, basically 24 hours a day. But awesome. I might not return it till the next day.
Yeah, I can say that. Awesome. Well, listen, DeeDee, this has been a pleasure. We are gonna park right up here, and we're gonna call it.
All right.
You guys, thank you so much for watching. You please need to check out all the Riding Shotgun with Charlie on all of the social media platforms. I got the YouTube channel. I've got a Facebook page. I send out emails. Please check out all the stuff and watch those. Check out DeeDee. I don't even know what she does. She does so much stuff. It's awesome. Totally. DeeDee, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Let's do this again sometime.
Please.
And
this is fun.
This is fun. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, listening, and subscribing to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Check out all the other great shows on the Self-Defense Radio Network. All of your pro-freedom podcasts in one place. You can find them at selfdefenseradio.net.